Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Alien Romulus released. To much fanfare? Maybe. Anyway. Seemingly very, very good reviews from the vast majority of people. And those individuals that dislike it would appear to be a lot of it is the fan referencing, the nudge nudge, wink wink, the over-referencing of certain movies here and there. Well, the previous films in the franchise. Now, you read from the title, the director, Fede Alvarez, did hide an Ellen Ripley Easter egg in the movie. Now, he recently, in an interview, teased the following.
I know she was still sleeping and floating around in space at the time of this movie, but was there ever any version of this story or an attempt to find a way to work Ridley into the story at all? Or is it kind of impossible because she's just out there floating around sleeping at this point?
Well, I wouldn't say it's impossible because no one knows exactly what happened in all those years that she's been drifting away. I cannot say more. I think for legal reasons, I cannot say more. I would say it's not impossible. There's a few things I've hit in that movie that is the answer to this question. I'm just waiting for that guy on his own watching the movie for the third time and starting going like, wait a minute, and going insane, discovering a few clues that have planted on the movie. They haven't found them yet, but they're there, just so maybe this is a good opportunity to send them on the hunt for those clues.
So, very clearly, as you can tell, Ellen Ripley, whether she's in the movie or not, we don't know. But there was an Easter egg to her. So, full spoilers ahead for the next part of this video. Full spoilers ahead. And we will get into a little bit of a discussion, I guess, with some sort of theories surrounding what could happen if Ellen Ripley is indeed in the movie. So you've been warned, full spoilers. Okay, so during the theatrical trailer that we saw on the lead up to the film's release, it looked like the Narcissus was spotted during that trailer as the Renaissance space station begins to collide with the planetary debris field, the rings surrounding the planet. During the trailer, we see just an outline, just a little shape, which is the exact same Star Cub class shuttle as the Narcissus, just floating away from the Renaissance station. Now, during the lead up to the film, I actually said, hey, this is more than likely just a Star Cub class vehicle. Nothing else. Because having a nod to Ellen Ripley in this movie on that degree does seem a bit redundant. It does seem a bit too much, quite frankly. However, there's actually a greater nod to Ellen Ripley in this film, which, again, could merely still just be an Easter egg. But what if it's not? So, what am I talking about? Well, there's a blink and you'll miss it moment, actually, where Kay is locked in the room with the xenomorph. Tyler and Rain are begging Andy to open the door, pleading with him. Why won't you open the door? Why won't you open the door? Open the door. Of course, Andy now has been sort of co-opted by the company at that point. But if you look down the corridor during that scene, you actually see the Narcissus docked. It is in the film. Now, we don't know if it is actually the Narcissus. What looks like the Narcissus anyway, and it might very well be the Narcissus. But it's docked vertically in the film. And I've included a screen grab of it here as well. It's from a dodgy online copy that's floating around, but it's the only way I can, throw up the actual example. So, if it is the Narcissus and Ellen Ripley is here, it raises a lot of questions, but it also answers a lot of questions. So there's a few things, because, again, if this is indeed Ripley here, now, hopefully, the implication is that what we'll see in the prequel comic for this movie, because there is a prequel comic for this film coming up from Marvel. It releases in October, and they do promise to elaborate on a lot of things which are set previous to this film. One would hope, if this is Ripley, the implication here is that the company always knew where Ripley was. Literally, always knew where she was. They grabbed her. And potentially using the onboard computer, that's how they found the big chap. They followed the flight path from the onboard computer of the Narcissus. And the probe that we see at the start of the film merely, was sent to the general direction and picked up a live sign, and yeah, the rest is history with respect to Alien Romulus. So I guess it makes a little bit more sense as to, again, if this is Ripley, makes a little bit more sense as to how exactly they found the big chap so quickly. Well, I say quickly, it is still set 20 years after the events of Alien. But again, it still does raise some questions. If they had Ripley all along, why did they not merely wake her up? Why did they seem so surprised in Aliens? And I do have a theory about that. Because in Alien Romulus, the intention behind the company at this point in time is actually human evolution. It's not bioweapons. I mean, it's a form of, biological sort of enhancement, but it's not bioweapons. They merely wanted to evolve humans. So if that is the case, and I've done some theory videos on this before, where I sort of posited this as a theory, maybe it was one division within the company that was aware of Ellen Ripley, and aware again of the xenomorph, and I guess aware of the mutagen, a more scientific arm. I mean, bioweapons are of course scientific, but a huge company such as Weyland-Yutani, that is essentially, has the GDP of the entire globe, the entire planet. They are a huge company. It would stand to reason that this sort of just behemoth of capitalism would have multiple divisions within it that are, working in tandem with one another, but potentially opposing. So, in fact, actually, the people within Aliens were not aware of Ellen Ripley, and they were not aware of anything that happened, and they were not aware of the xenomorph, in fact. That still potentially stands true. Now, I'm hoping that this is merely just an Easter egg and just a subtle nod, like oh, hey, that's kind of fun. And it's not actually Ellen Ripley. She's not actually on the station. Because, well, God, it really does mess with the canon. It really does mess with the lore. So there you go. A little bit of a discussion theory video based on some new information. Let me know what you think down below. Cheers, take care. Bye-bye now.